Carrowmore and the Drowned Lands. It's your second day, going slowly upriver in a convoy of boats, small boats. You are trying to reach the dam, and today you can actually see it. Before, you've sort of known it's there, and you can maybe, if you squint your eyes, imagine something in the distance is the dam. But now you can actually see the dam. You know you're obviously getting closer, but you can see it. It's in sight. It's still going to take a number of hours to reach it, but you now have a new set goal, which is to reach the dam. You're all in one boat. A number of other boats filled with company members are at different places along the river. And the way this is going to work is I'm going to describe things you see. And you can tell me how you react to it, but you must react as a group since you're all in one boat. The first thing you see an unusual sight. A bunch of trees along the soggy bank, thick with eels sliding through the branches. Perhaps they got dislodged from the flood, but these trees now all have eels in their branches, and occasionally big, fat, nasty eels fall to the ground. At the base of the trees is what appears to be a fishing skiff. And the fishing skiff has something hooked to it by a rope, maybe a net or something that's dragging down in the water. What do you all do?
Something over there. I wonder what it is.
Could possibly maneuver our boat next to whatever is submerged, cut it loose, and pull it onto ours without having to go onto that skiff.
I
Could be
think
fish, could be loot.
Caragast is looking at the eels and saying, "Yes, that's all very good, but they look very ugly and hungry."
It could make for excellent dining later for us.
Oh, a pie.
Mhm.
Well, are we going to investigate or are we going to keep going?
I would like to investigate.
Okay. PK, you're actually just a little quiet. I don't know if you can turn your gain up or just move your mic closer to your mouth.
How's that?
I think it's better, but we'll see. I'm sorry. Are we approaching or no? Oh, we
Yeah.
are. Does anyone have any questions as we approach?
Can we find a way of distracting the eels so that they don't decide that we're delicious?
I think that's a great question. I'm grabbing the die roller for us right now, and I'll link it into the chat, and you will make a hunt roll, Horagast.
My case for a second die actually is that I have this pendant that I've been playing with from the optical god, and I'm going to try and use it to create a beam of light into the water and try and distract the eels so that I can see what they do.
Okay, I'm into it. Go ahead and roll.
All right, let's do it. That's a 3, so that's not great.
The boat, you're slowly going. Horrorguest is playing with this lens, which is doing nothing. The eels are, for what it's worth, they're very distracted. They're flopping around. They're they're very kind of just like tangled. And you're getting closer to the skiff. And there's this rope that goes down into the water from the skiff. And you can see now that there's something tied to the rope. Well, for one thing, the rope is weighted so that it stays anchored to the boat. There's like a big rock, say. And then there's something tied to the rope down below in the water. You can't quite make out what it is. As long as you don't get onto the shore, you shouldn't have to worry about the eels too much. For it, what do you do?
I think Ford tries to position our boat close to the skiff so that we could get on board, but also so that we could reach that rope that descends into the water.
Yeah, you can reach the rope. That's no trouble. Then what?
I'm going to tug on that rope, try and get a feel for what kind of weight we're looking at.
Make a hunt roll.
Mhm. Three.
You tug on the rope. You tug on the rope, and it tugs back. Indeed, you realize quite suddenly that there are people attached to the rope underwater, and they are climbing it to reach the surface. What do you all do?
Do we have a moment before we find ourselves in combat, or are we about to
You
just
have about a
be...
moment, yeah.
I was thinking maybe I could use brimstone with the pendant which I'm holding to boil the water and cook them.
I think that would be interesting. I'm open to it. Take us through the risk roll.
Uh, so what I'm trying to achieve is I'm trying to make the water really hot, so it either, if you know, whatever we've seen some undead, haven't we? So it like either like distract them or disable them or something.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And what could go wrong, do we think?
Well, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of things that could go wrong here. Um, if this does go to combat, it could just be that your plan doesn't work and it has no effect on the endurance of the things. Obviously, there's also just the minor problem of no matter how this shakes out, you might be making the water around you really hot, which could be an issue. Maybe that's a devil's bargain thing. I don't know, but I'm open to hearing others' thoughts.
Since you did mention undead being in the area, or guest, undead aren't affected by temperatures, like going from like lukewarm water to boiling. Not much of an effect, really. So you just make the water hot, and that's a problem for us who are living things.
Maybe the lens creates a glare on the surface of the water, making it hard for us to see what emerges
What's
until
actually
it's too
happening?
late.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting.
So many things. And I think for my first die, I'm going to use the pendant
Sure.
to for that, and brimstone. The fact that I have a ritual, so it's going to be a dark die automatically because it's a ritual. But I'd love to hear some devil's bargains too, if there's any on offer.
Hmm.
No matter what, this little skiff was intentionally set as a trap.
no matter what, the smell of boiling swamp water will make it apparent that someone's here.
matter what, in an attempt to heat up the water, you also burn your hands.
I like all those.
I think I want to say it draws attention, it stinks, and it was a trap. So I'm going to take two of them because they seem like complementary. So not mutually exclusive. So I think that would be a risk 2-1. Oh, I got a light 6 on that one.
Oh, good. This is going to go to combat, but because you succeeded so well, you are going to reduce what would be their eventual endurance by 2. Their endurance was going to be a 7. It is now reduced to 5. This is what's happening. You are correct, Obeha. These are undead. There are a number of shambling zombie-like people who were tied by ropes and dropped down into the water, waiting for someone to disturb the rope, alerting them. And they all now scramble up the rope to get at you. Horrigus, describe the boiling of the water, the ritual. What does that look like?
Well, Harrogast has the ritual brimstone, which basically makes something scorching hot to the touch. So I think with his gloved finger he's got a new left arm, he touches the crystal of the optical god's pendant and puts it up to the sun because it won't work without the sun, but he just amplifies it and it goes like white hot, and this piercing beam shoots into the water and it picks out the lights of all of the shapes beneath, and then it just like a kettle, just first there's steam and then there's gradual agitation and then it's fully boiling and it stinks so bad. Oh my god, so much. But they start floating up and bits of them start cooking off. It's gnarly, but they're very distracted.
Well, and I think it's not so much that they can feel it or anything, they don't, they're undead, but as they clamber up onto your boat, they were covered in flesh and they were people just dead, but now their flesh is just falling off in great big gobbets, and there's just and they're coming up and they're just like kind of half skeletal, half fleshy things clambering to get onto the boat. A small group of them. They just, they're kind of clambering up. They have their mouths open up and like tongues just flop and fall and splatter into the water. Liquefied eyes dribbling down partially exposed sockets. Whatever gases had built up in them down below, whatever gases had built up into their dead bodies begins to violently expel as they break the surface. And so you're all just being sprayed by hot, rotting meat and viscera and bile. But if you're joining the combat, please say how you're exposed to danger and roll weak point. You don't all have to. Theoretically, maybe only a couple of you even need to if you're just over the side of the boat, right?
I mean, if we are feeling lucky, only one of us needs to join.
Yeah, a 5 or a 6 will do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cassian will join combat.
For it, definitely, because he was going to draw his dueling saber to cut the rope.
That's a good way to defeat them, right? Like just have them sink.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I think that's also why he's vulnerable. Is he's torn between, can I get the rope in time, or do I have to fend them off? Right? No good cutting the rope if they're all on top of him.
Yeah. Roll weak point.
2. Dig it.
Fantastic. And Cassian, were you going to also compete?
I was, again, drawing their dueling saber. I had the same ideas for it in an attempt to
get the rope cut. Yeah, it's smart. Yeah. Make a weak point roll.
5.
For it, make a combat 2. That will do it.
Yeah, a 7, but that is a 5.
A 5 and a 2. So you both get hit, like the exact wrong thing to roll, but also the right thing. If you're taking the hit, you'll describe that. If your armor's taking the hit, you'll describe that. But please just describe how you eventually get these things back down in the water. Start with for it.
I think for it quickly comes the determination that I'm not going to hold these off one at a time. So he starts sawing through that rope. Maybe one good whack to get it started and it doesn't go all the way clean through, and then starts sawing through it. And that gives one of them enough time to kind of like grab his forearm. And my armor's shredded, so it's just a solid grip of bony, meaty hand on my flesh.
Finish it off, Cassian.
Cassian sees that Forid is struggling with the rope and continues to hack away at it. In the process, one of the undead also reaches up to claw Cassian and just rips through their kimono and leaves this big gaping wound down their arm.
If you took the ruin hit, note an appropriate condition as well, so you know how to clear it later. Let's see if they had anything of worth on the boat. Obeha, you can roll gold 5. Let's see if the trappers left anything that might be useful to you. Surprisingly, yes. A number of eels have managed to flop their way into the boat, and collectively they can be taken back to camp and sold for a gold, whoever wants to take the eels.
Cassie, I'm okay with you taking it since you mentioned cooking them up.
I will take the eels. All right.
Oh, we'll eat well tonight.
Indeed we will. Indeed we will. I'm guessing you're not going to want to go on the shore, but if you do, let me know. Otherwise, you can hop right back in and keep going up the river.
There's way too many eels.
You go up the
Eating eels sounds good. Being eaten by eels, not as appealing.
Not as appealing. You continue up the river for another hour or so. It is hot. Very humid. You may not be able to get the smell of that particular melange of eel and rotting flesh out of your nose. You go for a time until you reach what appear to be the roofs of tiny stone houses breaching the mud near the bank of the river. Are we investigating or are we continuing on?
Do we see any more lures like they're trying to trap us again? Because this is becoming a recurring motif.
Make a hunt roll.
Yeah, I think Haragast is going to be glaring suspiciously at them and saying, I don't like it. I don't actually think I have patterns. Is
I like
a
it.
pattern?
Oh,
Is
very
this a
good.
pattern of
Yeah.
annoyingly cunning chaps? Yeah, okay, so, yes. Oh, that's even worse. I got 2 this time.
This rolls are so awful. I will tell you, as you get closer, you can see what's really going on here. This is a drowned cemetery. And what look to be the roofs of tiny stone houses are actually just the roofs of little mausoleums, little tombs. In fact, as you get closer, you can see that the tomb doors have been forced open by the onrushing flood. And the dead are just sort of bobbing around, kind of, not even bobbing, just sort of like a corpse stew near the entrances to this submerged cemetery. You will also notice underneath the water are large translucent shapes swimming around that occasionally grab one of the corpses and drag it down. What do you do?
Avoid that.
Steer this boat away from that.
This is so wonderful. I'm so glad we went on this journey together.
Camp got flooded. I cannot control the weather.
And we have eels for dinner. It's a win so far.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you've been making lots of giant friends, Obeha. Is this your new giant friend?
Are these
No.
clear platypuses?
These
It's a
are not
platypus.
clear platypuses. There is only one alpha platypus, sovereign of the river,
Layer of eggs.
layer of eggs, and most magnificent of nature's predators, and it is becalmed.
It is our friend.
It sounds like you're continuing on.
Mm-hmm.
If we can, yeah.
You may. You come to something that's a little bit more pressing after another 30 or 40 minutes on the water. You see that, so the river is taking like a bend, a little bit like in James's background. It's taking a bend, and in the center of the bend, on the landmass that's there, there is a large windmill.
Oh.
Very excited about a windmill.
No. This is me as a player. I know what this windmill is.
Oh.
I'm very excited.
There's a large windmill on the top. Well, this windmill has okay, I'll just say it. At the base of this windmill are 100-meter wide white crabs. The foresails of the windmill are torn and patched in places. Only one actually remains whole. The others are positively crawling with enormous meter-wide white crabs. There are white crabs just pouring up this thing. And there is a woman, a desperate woman, inside the mill from out the window using a pole to try to knock the crabs away to prevent them from reaching the window of the mill. What do you all do?
Well, it seems that we may want to help this person. Since the crabs seem to be so eager to get inside, they are scavengers. They're not normally predatory. So something they want is inside. So maybe something we want is inside there as well.
Do we think it's her?
Maybe, maybe not.
She's desperately using a pole to keep the crabs away from the window.
Hard pressed to think of what I would want that a crab would also want.
I think that's a fair point.
That said, it would be cold-blooded to leave her here to her fate.
To be consumed by crabs. Well, perhaps we could create an illusion of a easier target for the crabs. Then just pick her up.
If we can distract the crabs and get her to jump, I could unfall so that she'll like land on a sort of cushion of like levitation and we can grab her and pull her on board, but she's gonna get eaten by the time that actually happens.
I like that as a sort of an assist on whatever the roll is to get rid of the crabs, right?
Mm-hmm. If it's necessary, if there needs to be a roll, because I do have 2 hunt tokens, and I've noticed that Horgus has another.
I do, and I nearly rolled a 1, so I could quite like to be done with it. So that would be good.
I have 2 hunt tokens. We could do 1 each.
Are you suggesting spending hunt tokens to complete the set goal or to rescue her?
To rescue this woman.
I'm open to that. Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
works. If you're
Yeah.
willing to spend the tokens.
Yeah. We could perhaps be a bit more ambitious and say we want to like safely rescue her, given it's 3 tokens.
I think that was implied already.
I would say so. Um, if you're all spending the tokens, yeah, I think that's an adequate and admirable goal for 3 tokens. Um, Go ahead and spend them. We'll just handle this in a round robin of little montage of scenes, getting rid of the crabs, rescuing her, and you'll find out she has 12 children in there with her. So, a bunch of kids as well. And so then there's going to be a bunch of kids dispersed throughout all the company boats.
Cassian, can you put in a 4th token to do something about that?
Let the crabs take the children. Yes, I can do that.
I mean,
Begin with the narration, Obeha.
I think, I think Abeja sort of is like we see this sort of like collaboration with Horgus because Horgus has this pretty nice big lens, and Abeja is familiar with like creating illusions. So like we can create like the sort of illusion of like a decently sized like ox or something that seems to be injured for to like lure the crabs away with easier prey than the woman who is sticking with them with a stick.
I think Hargast's muttering, "Come on, you stupid bastards! It's delicious. Look, it's right there."
It is silent. It does not move. It does not moo.
Cassian, what's your part in this in rescuing this woman and the kids?
Cassian is just using persuasion and going, "You can do this. We have distracted the crabs. Come, you and yours will be safe. Climb out. Trust us."
For it?
I think for it's like, all right, come on, use the buddy system. If somebody falls, help them up. Keep moving. Move towards the boat. And he's trying to wave them and help them onto the boat. Probably wincing every time.
Nice. The woman identifies herself as Tana Che'erla. I'll type that here. Tana Che'erla. And these are just a group of children from the nearby village of Polnakram, which is the direction you're headed. She says, "Thank you so much," as she gets into your boat. The other kids are dispersed throughout the other boats, but she and one other child are in your boat. "You didn't have to help us, but you did. Thank you. What are your names?"
We're all bloody-minded idiots who can't help but interfere. So you're very fortunate you encountered us. I'm Haragast. I'm the impulsive one.
I am Abeja.
Mm.
I'm for it.
Mm.
The handsome one.
Debatable.
I am Cassian, the handsome one.
You continue on. The fact that you rescued these people and that you did the right thing will hold you in good stead throughout the lands for a time, aiding you in your ultimate quests. You can each add 1 gold directly to Horde. You're getting close to Polnakram, their village. She is very much like sticking to the prow of the boat, like looking out for it, right? She knows this land well, but it's very flooded now, and so she doesn't precisely know where it is. Everything has changed, but she's looking. And then eventually you see her and kind of like tense up, and she goes, "Oh no, look." The village is flooded to head height, and there are a number of desperate families trapped on the roofs of the village. There is inside the water an enormous golem. It's probably at least 15, 20 feet tall, maybe more. It's kind of the water's only waist height to it, right? And it is moving through the village, methodically tearing apart the buildings one by one, dumping screaming civilians into the black water. Its hands just tear at the corners of homes, wrenching beams, tearing away planks as if they were straw. This golem, this construct, this creature, whatever it is, it has a strange, its head has a really unusual shape. We'll talk about that more when we have time, if we have time. But periodically it lets out this noise, this like sort of, and it just continues ripping and tearing, and people are screaming. What do you all do?
Question about the golem. It's ripping like the village apart and tossing people into the water. Does it seem like it's building something?
You can make a hunt roll.
Mm-hmm. Uh, this is probably a push, but I have a skill in rituals, so like I know like methodical practices.
Oh, you're recognizing like methodology in it. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I like it.
A 2. It's the same exact roll as earlier from Horgest.
That is not great. This thing, I think, as you're sort of like watching it, this woman who you rescued, she's like, we have to help them, we have to help them, we have to do something. What's everyone else doing in the meantime?
I think Fort's studying the thing. Like, is their reaction like they expected this thing? Like they're familiar with it? Or is it just wandered up on them, wrecking their village?
You can make a hunt roll. I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell that, but you might discover something else.
3.
Yeah, this is gone from, it's just getting bad. Let me give you a picture of said golem and its unusual head, as it were. It turns. It sees you. It is now striding across the way toward your boat. What do you all do?
I think Hargest has his miscellany out and he's thumbing through it, going, golems, constructs, constructs. Yes, this thing was made with geomancy. Some of it. I think I speak golem.
What is your hope here?
Basically, like, it obviously has some kind of task it's trying to do. I kind of want to convince it should do something else, like confuse it, because it's obviously following someone's instructions. Even if
Interesting.
only temporarily, still, I want to distract it.
I'm into that. We can do a risk roll. Go ahead and take us through.
Yeah. So I have well, firstly, like what I'm trying to achieve is at the best I'm trying to get it to stop, and if that doesn't work, I want to confuse it for long enough for someone else to have an idea that's better than this one. And I think for my light die, I have to say what could go wrong first. Sorry, I jumped the gun.
You have to engage the thing in combat.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really don't have anything to say. Like, there's just no way to get the boat around the golem.
it's gonna be pissed. Yeah.
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 You don't in fact speak Golem.
Yeah, and
And everyone else is just hanging on your every word, assuming you do.
Uh, yeah. So and then I think my light die, I have construction and attunement, and I also have the miscellany, which is a geomantic miscellany, so it has a lot of different stuff in it. Um,
I love that.
and then it's a ritual, so it's going to be a dark die. And what do we think in terms of devil's bargains?
What is the ritual you're doing, just out of curiosity?
I'm not actually no. It's not actually a ritual. I'm using my miscellany to sort of try and talk to it. But I'm assuming it's dangerous.
I don't think you're in the. Yeah, I don't think you don't need to yet. You're just.
Okay,
the danger's not on you yet. Yeah.
Okay, I'll opt out for now and then add it later if I have to.
If you're taking devil's bargains, though,
Yeah, I'd love to hear 'em if.
I would like to suggest that. I'd like to suggest that no matter what, the company is delayed in order to perform a rescue of the people of Polnakram.
I
No
think
matter
that-
what,
Go
the
ahead.
villagers think there's some connection between Horagest and the Golem.
Summon the god.
Um, I could really make a terrible devil's bargain. But Ray has encouraged me to do it, so I'll do it. No matter what, there's more than one golem.
No matter what, you enrage the golem, and before it approaches us, it knocks, like, just spite knocks off villagers from rooftops.
Oh, like no matter what, like it just crushes some villagers just because it's pissed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love like that there's more than one, and probably that's why it's going to cause a distraction. So possibly two devil's bargains, because it is going to cause a disruption to our journey to the dam if there's more than one. So
We shall see.
all right, so
James,
that would
you
be.
only need to pick one. You don't
I,
need
lo-
both.
I love picking. Well, I mean, okay, so we don't have to simultaneously. Maybe as a consequence, let's just say that there's multiple golems for now. But and I'll make that just a risk too for now, as discussed. Oh, that's a 4. So I can totally do better than that.
The
can't I?
complication is the second golem comes out from under you, under the water, lifting your boat into the air.
Oh, I didn't
you'd
want
like to
that
add-
to happen.
If you'd like to add a dark
Cool.
die, you can, but otherwise, yeah.
I will, for the sake of everyone, I will just add another one and see what I can do. Oh, I got a dark 6, which I think is very appropriate because I always get ruined from geomancy. So
Describe how you successfully get that golem to back off, to heed off.
I think I basically sort of find a part of the ritual for animating a golem, and there's another one for making them return to their sort of standby state to sleep. So I'll say, you are not needed here in golem, return to the ground from whence you rose. Your task is now complete. You are at rest. And I'll just read that out. But I get ruined because basically, like, it's sort of I'm coursing with geomantic energy, and it starts to, burn me.
You will. We're near the end. We're at the end of our time. You will be able to deliver the survivors from the windmill to the rooftops of Polnakram. They're going to just ride it out until the water recedes. The golem does go away, but I will tell you that as the convoy continues up the river, you see the head of another one just popped up out of the water in your path. That will be for the next group to deal with.